Good evening, everyone. This is Craig Bluenazz on the road again. This is a part of the series where I'm visiting friends' houses, and tonight I'm at Mike's house. We've shown you some excellent albums from his collection in the past, and this is, I think, the third one that we've done so far. And first of all, the beer of the evening right now is this one right here. It's called Longboat Chocolate Porter. It's from British Columbia. It's from a small brewery. It's not one of the large breweries. It's a company called Phillips, I believe. But I'm going to introduce Mike to you, and I'm going to let him show some albums that he has from his collection. I think a lot of these are Japanese pressings. So, take it away, Mike.
Hi. So, the albums we're going to talk about tonight are from an audiophile label from Japan called Cisco. And all the albums we'll be looking at are actually from Cisco. The collection itself, or Cisco itself, is now a dead label. It's no longer around. They sort of died about a year ago. I think they primarily deal in audio equipment at this point. They do have, though, one of the founders of the company actually started another label called Boxstar. And this is actually the first label on that label.
That's a beautiful album. Julie London, I think it's her first LP from around 1957 or so.
Yeah, exactly. One of the nice things about Cisco is that they are actually a true audiophile label. The recordings themselves are actually, in many respects, surpass that of the first pressings. And truthfully, unless the label itself, unless it's an audiophile label, if it is an audiophile label, if it doesn't surpass the first pressing, then it's difficult to call it an audiophile label, or at least equal the first pressing. So this first album is Yamamoto Trio, and this album is actually quite a rare album. There's only about 1,000 of them released, and I think the number on this one is 989. But it's a stellar album with a great double bass.
It would be classified as a jazz album.
It's jazz.
Yep.
It's actually from the original label on this album was actually Three Blind Mice.
Okay, yeah.
And those labels are Japanese as well, and they also were stellar recordings.
Well, that's 45 RPM too. That one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous recording.
Okay.
This is also from a Three Blind Mice recording, Here at Last.
Mm-hmm.
Misty, another great. It's another the Yamamoto Trio.
Yep.
And it's also a great recording, also from Three Blind Mice. Original pressings with Three Blind Mice. This album is actually just, and actually this one, the double bass is just amazing. This has a deep, resounding, rich sound.
It's called Blow Up. Okay.
It's nothing to do with the movie.
Okay, yeah.
Herbie Hancock, Taking Off.
Yeah, I was looking at that. It's a Blue Note album, and it looks like the original album with Watermelon Man from the early '60s. Yeah, but that's Japanese pressing.
Yeah, this is Japanese. All these are Japanese pressings. They're all actually from Cisco, which is all Japanese, just Japanese reissues.
Okay.
So this is Dexter Gordon. Dexter Gordon. This album was actually recorded during his European period, and this was actually, I think, was in Copenhagen. Yeah, Copenhagen. Julie Christie, Something Cool.
Yep, Julie Christie's one of my all-time favorite female vocalists. That album's from 1953, the original copy, I think.
Here we have Wes Montgomery, great jazz guitar. This album is a little more poppy than his usual jazz undertones. Here's a series of Brahms Concerto. This is a series of
RCA Living Stereo, yep.
And also a reissue from Cisco. Gary Carr, great double bass.
Adagio del Albinoni. That's Gary Carr as well.
Yeah,
okay.
Adagio Albinoni. Yeah, Gary Carr. Aja, I think most people know Aja. One of the few Cisco rock recordings. They didn't do a lot of rock recordings. They did Steely Dan. This is another album that they released, American Woman. But actually, their rock pressings were very few. I think that I probably have many of them. John Hammond, So Many Roads, great blues guitarist.
Son of John Hammond Sr., who discovered who's a Bessie Smith. He was Benny Goodman's brother-in-law. And also on that album, I was looking at the back.
And also, he's a great producer.
Yes, and
exceptionally good producer.
And Levin Helm and Robbie Robertson of the band played backup on that John Hammond album. Yep. Linda Ronstadt. Wow.
Joan Baez, Farewell Angelina. This is probably why Cisco actually is no longer a label. This is the sort of the end of the demise. They started producing a lot of pedestrian albums. This album's not too bad.
Alona Knopfler is the name. Yep.
This is Claire
Claire Marie.
what is it? Claire Marlowe.
Oh, Marlowe. Okay.
And this really is the end of Cisco. This is where Cisco began to play some pretty weak music, or record some pretty weak artists. Pretty pedestrian sound, very middle of the road. This isn't too bad, a little bit of an improvement over Claire Marlowe, but The Hunter, not one of Jennifer Warren's best albums.
Yeah, Jennifer Warren's was more famous for the next record here that we're going to see.
And this album here is considered reasonably rare as well. There was a limited pressing 45, one of Cisco's last albums, actually.
It's Jennifer Warren's famous Blue Raincoat, which is the music of Leonard Cohen.
In fact, this album here was Cisco's last album, the very last album that they recorded.
Right.
And this album was recorded just before the Hunter. And it actually, the recording is stellar, just absolutely stunning. But then again, the production of the original Jennifer Warren's is also very good.
Yeah, I remember they used to use the original album in stereo shops to demonstrate stereo their systems, audio systems and things. Yeah.
So that's it for the Japanese pressings.
Okay. Thank you for showing that to us, Mike, and hope to see you again in the next video. Thanks. Bye.
All right then. Piss off.